The silence of deep space was shattered by an alarm on the Imperial border outpost at Zephyr Station. The console blinked frantically, displaying an unknown signature emerging from the outer sectors. Lieutenant Ryan Malkov's fingers flew over the controls as the screen zoomed in on a small, unregistered vessel drifting through the sensor array. It was battered, scarred by countless micrometeor impacts, and unlike any ship in Imperial registry. "Commander, we've got an unknown vessel entering restricted space," Ryan reported, his voice steady despite the tension. "No transponder. Code. No response to hails." Commander Veshnar leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "Can we identify the origin?" "Unknown, sir. The ship's tech signature is primitive. It looks centuries old, almost like a relic." The lieutenant frowned. "If I'm honest, it looks like one of those ancient Earth ships we thought were long gone." The room grew quieter. Earth had been declared a dead zone centuries ago, ravaged by wars and isolating itself from the galactic community. The idea of any functioning vessel from there was almost a myth. Still, this was real, and approaching fast. Suddenly, the scout ship activated its comm beacon. A crackling voice filtered through, calm but defiant. "This is Scout Vessel 01. We are conducting reconnaissance. We mean no harm. Awaiting further instructions." The officers exchanged uncertain glances. The message was clear, but the implications were not. No other species would announce their arrival so openly. This was either a taunt or a sign of confidence few had seen before. "Sir, it's moving fast. Way faster than our protocols allow," Ryan said, astonished. The scout darted past defense satellites with an agility that made even veteran pilots gasp. Before any response could be made, the ship vanished into a nearby nebula. "Impossible," muttered Commander Veshnar. "No one slips past the perimeter without detection, not this close to the core." Within minutes, alarms blared across Zephyr Station. The scout's message replayed endlessly in command centers, echoing through secure comm channels. The phrase "only a scout" was repeated by anxious voices across the Empire's highest echelons. The news hit the Imperial High Council like a shockwave. The room buzzed with confusion and fear. "If this is just a scout," the Council's First Chancellor said grimly, "then what does the real fleet look like?" One of the elder strategists, General Kyle Var, slammed his fist on the table. "We underestimated humanity. We thought their technology was lost, forgotten. But this ship's speed, its stealth, it's beyond anything we predicted." Outside the council chambers, rumors spread like wildfire. Some claimed Earth had secretly rebuilt, harboring a fleet capable of rewriting the galaxy's power balance. Others whispered of ancient human technology, hidden for centuries, now awakened. In a shadowed corner of the station, a junior officer noticed a small emblem on the scout's hull, an intricate spiral etched into the hull's plating. It was unlike any symbol in Imperial records, yet oddly familiar, echoing a forgotten human design. "Sir," the officer called, voice trembling. "I think this symbol means something. Something old. Something they want us to see." "Commander." Veshnar stared at the screen. "Then this is more than a mere scout. It's a message." Across the galaxy, unseen by the Empire, the scout ship relayed data back to an unknown fleet. The message was clear. This was only the beginning. The real fleet was on its way. The Imperial High Council chamber was stark and cold, a room designed for clear decisions in times of crisis. But today the air was thick with uncertainty. Hushed voices filled the chamber as holographic star maps flickered above the council table, each displaying clusters of human outposts, scattered like scattered fireflies across the outer rim. First, Chancellor Eris Vaughn paced slowly, every step measured. "We have confirmed the scout vessel's origin," he announced, his tone grave. "Earth, the planet we believed dormant, isolated, and irrelevant to galactic affairs for centuries." A collective gasp rose among the council members. Many had grown complacent, convinced that Earth was a relic of history, nothing more than a backwater lost to time. Now that assumption lay shattered. "Reports indicate the ship was no accident," Eris continued. "Its technology, while appearing primitive, outperforms our latest interceptors in speed and stealth. It bypassed the border defenses without so much as a warning. General Kale Var, a stern man with decades of combat experience, slammed his fist on the table. We cannot underestimate them any longer. This scout is no rogue vessel. It is a clear message. A warning, even. A younger strategist, Mara Seelan, raised her hand. Our intelligence intercepts contain coded transmissions from the scout. We've decoded fragments. Encrypted human linguistic patterns merged with new dialects, indicating evolution far beyond our last contact. She tapped a console, and a complex data stream flashed before them. There's more. The transmissions include coordinates, mapped across several systems well within our borders, and a countdown timer, synchronized with multiple signals. The fleet's rendezvous point, we believe. Whispers filled the room. The Empire's vast fleets were spread thin, and a coordinated strike or invasion could cripple their power. But where was this fleet coming from? How had humanity, a supposedly isolated world, achieved such reach? Outside the chamber, Imperial intelligence agents scrambled. Reports came in from border stations. Untraceable sensor glitches, unusual energy, spikes and bursts of communication intercepted only in static and fragments. None could explain the sudden increase in activity, except to say it was coordinated and precise. Commander Veshnar sat quietly in his office at Zephyr Station, the memory of the scout's sudden disappearance haunting him. His thoughts were interrupted by a secure transmission. The voice on the other end was calm but urgent. "Commander, you need to see this," came the message from an intelligence officer aboard the cruiser Erebus. "Our latest scans picked up a strange gravitational distortion moving through the Valtrex Nebula. It matches no known ship class." Veshnar's eyes narrowed. "Send me everything." The data arrived moments later. The images showed a fleet moving in near-perfect formation, cloaked within the swirling gases of the nebula. It was vast, far larger than the scout had implied. Every vessel was uniquely designed, a testament to diversity and ingenuity, not uniform Imperial construction. The news reached the Council. Eris turned to General Var. "We've been blind for too long. Earth has not only rebuilt, it has united. They have built a fleet capable of challenging our very presence in this quadrant." A cold silence fell. The question on everyone's mind was the same, unspoken but loud. What does this mean for the Empire's future? The First Chancellor's voice broke the quiet. "We have two choices: prepare for war or attempt contact. Either way, we must act, and swiftly." Meanwhile, far from the Empire's reach aboard the scout ship hidden in deep space, a calm voice transmitted again. "The Vanguard was only proof of concept. The real fleet moves now. We bring not destruction, but a reckoning. Humanity's place is no longer in shadows." Back in the Imperial chambers, a junior officer stared at the scrolling data, a chill running down his spine. Humanity had awoken, and the galaxy was about to change forever. In the quiet halls of the Imperial Archives, Captain Alara Voss worked alone. Once a respected historian specializing in lost civilizations, she had long been sidelined from the Empire's military councils. But now, summoned by the High Council itself, her expertise was needed more than ever. She stared at the flickering data terminals before her, ancient transmissions from Earth and scattered human colonies long thought extinct. For centuries, Earth had been written off, a forgotten cradle, consumed by chaos and isolation after the old wars fractured its surface. But the truth was buried deeper, encrypted beneath layers of myth and political propaganda. Alara's fingers traced the faded images of cities rising from ruins, people united under a banner of resilience. Their technology, at first crude and erratic, began to evolve rapidly after a century of hardship. The record showed humanity learning from mistakes, adapting, and quietly reaching out beyond the stars. A holographic file caught her attention. Project Longreach. The code name for an initiative started centuries ago by rogue human scientists and engineers determined to breach galactic isolation. They had built ships capable of long-range stealth and adaptability. Ships designed not for war but for discovery and survival. Alara leaned closer. "So it was never a secret lost to time," she muttered. It was hidden, waiting. Her communications terminal beeped. An encrypted message from Zephyr Station appeared. The scout's logs contained something new. A recorded message from its captain, an admiral named Reza Imani. Her eyes widened as she listened. "We come not as conquerors," the voice said, steady and calm. "We come because survival demands unity. Earth was cast away, but humanity endured. We have learned to grow stronger in the darkness, and now we reclaim our place among the stars." Alara felt a chill. This was more than a fleet. It was a declaration of purpose. Returning to the archives, she pieced together fragmented records of Earth's rise. Environmental collapse, civil wars, and near extinction had forced humanity to innovate in ways the galaxy had never seen. Their ships adapted like living things, integrating organic and synthetic systems. Their AI networks evolved, learning from human intuition instead of rigid programming. Most striking was their philosophy. Humanity embraced change, conflict, and cooperation all at once. They had survived because they never stopped evolving. Ilara's mind raced. The scout was a test, a probe to measure Imperial reaction. But the real fleet would be unlike anything the Empire had faced before. Unpredictable, adaptive, and united by a fierce will to survive rather than conquer. A sudden knock startled her. Commander Veshnar entered the chamber, his expression grim but hopeful. "The Council wants your assessment," he said. "They believe your knowledge of human history is the key to understanding what's coming." Alara nodded. "Then we must prepare, not just for battle but for the truth humanity carries. They are not monsters or savages. They are survivors who refuse to die quietly." Outside, reports arrived of strange gravitational signatures near Imperial space. The countdown Maricellin had warned about was ticking relentlessly. The human fleet was moving closer, coordinated with precision only a species that had learned to thrive in chaos could manage. Veshnar glanced at the data feed. "If this is their strength, we need to understand their limits before they decide to push." Alara closed her eyes briefly, then looked back at the screen. "Or before they decide we no longer deserve to be called a galactic empire." In that moment, the Empire faced an uncertain future. A new player had entered the game, not as a mere threat, but as a catalyst for change, and only those willing to learn from humanity's story might survive what came next. The vast expanse of the Valtrex Nebula was normally a quiet sector, its swirling clouds of gas and dust obscuring the light of distant stars. But now, Imperial sensors picked up anomalies that no one could explain. Ships on patrol reported fleeting glimpses of shapes moving faster than any known propulsion, only to vanish like ghosts. Lieutenant Rian Malkoff stood on the observation deck of Zephyr Station, staring into the shifting mists. "Commander," he said, breaking the silence, "these gravitational ripples, they're unlike anything we've seen. They're synchronized, almost like a heartbeat." Commander Veshnar joined him, his face shadowed with concern. "If the scout was only a single ship, what creates these? And why now?" "Could be the fleet," Ryan suggested, moving through stealth fields, using the nebula's density to mask their approach. Back on the Council's warship Tyrannus, General Kale Var convened his top officers. "We're tracking rapid energy pulses, burst communications, and the gravitational disturbances. The human fleet is assembling. It's bigger than we imagined." Sensors on the Tyrannus flickered as a mysterious transmission broke through static. It was fragmented, but a voice, clear and determined, rose above the interference. "We come not to conquer, but to be recognized. We bring the legacy of Earth and its children. We offer a chance to rewrite the galaxy's future." The words sent a ripple through the room. Var's jaw tightened. "Diplomacy or deception, we cannot know. Prepare all defenses." Meanwhile, deep inside the scout ship's bridge, Admiral Reza Imani reviewed incoming data. His fleet was moving through the nebula, each vessel navigating the dangerous cloud with precise coordination. Their stealth technology, a fusion of organic and mechanical design, adapted in real time to the nebula's interference. Reza's mind drifted to Earth's history, the centuries of hardship that forged this mission. The fleet wasn't just a military force. It was a symbol of humanity's endurance, a living testament to those who refused to surrender their future. "We are close," Reza said quietly to his officers. "The Empire expects a fight. We will show them something different." Back in the Imperial Command Center, analyst Mara Salen studied patterns on her screen. The fleet is communicating through a neural network-like system, dynamic, resilient. Our attempts to jam or intercept fail. It's learning from us. Commander Veshnar frowned. Then we're dealing with an enemy that adapts faster than we can plan. How do we counter that? Maybe we can't, Mara said softly. Maybe the key is to understand them first. Outside Zephyr Station, a small shuttle flickered on sensors, moving stealthily through the nebula. Aboard, a young Imperial officer transmitted a quick report. The human fleet is real. It's coming faster than predicted, and it's unlike any force we've faced before. The message reached the High Council, sparking renewed urgency. First Chancellor Eris Vaughn addressed the chamber. "We face a challenge that transcends weapons. Humanity's fleet is not only a military threat, it's a philosophical one. Their strength comes from survival, unity, and innovation. They will not be defeated by force alone." In a quiet room far from the front lines, Captain Alara Voss prepared for a mission that could change everything. "If we hope to survive," she said, "we must meet them on their terms." The nebula's swirling shadows seemed to pulse with anticipation, as if the galaxy itself held its breath. The scout had been only the opening move. The real fleet was now weaving through the void, ready to challenge the Empire's hold on the stars. The muted hum of the observation deck was pierced by a sudden alert. Imperial scientists aboard the research station Aegis Prime had just decrypted a transmission recorded by the scout vessel during its brief incursion. The message wasn't just words. It was a vivid window into humanity's rebirth. Captain Alara Voss stood before the council, her voice steady but passionate. "This is not a call for war. It's a call for recognition. The images reveal Earth's cities, once devastated, now rebuilt with incredible ingenuity. Human colonies united under shared values of survival and cooperation." The holographic display showed sweeping skylines where gleaming towers of adaptive alloys shifted with the wind, and sprawling green spaces thrived alongside technology. The people seen were diverse, their faces marked by determination and hope. An Imperial scientist interrupted. "Their technology integrates biological systems with machinery, self-healing hulls, adaptive engines that grow stronger with use. Their AI is not programmed but evolved, learning through experience like a living organism." Ilara nodded. "Their strength lies in adaptability, not brute force. This fleet we face is a culmination of centuries of human resilience, built not just to fight but to endure, to learn from every encounter." In the war rooms across the Empire, officers debated fiercely. Some urged immediate strike plans, convinced diplomacy was a weakness. Others, moved by the transmission, argued for dialogue. General Kale Var's voice cut through the tension. "We cannot afford to dismiss them. The scout was only the surface. These people have changed the game. We must understand their limits, or be consumed by their evolution." Meanwhile, aboard the scout ship hidden beyond the nebula, Admiral Reza Imani stood before his crew. "Our mission is not conquest but restoration. Earth was cast aside, but now we reclaim not just territory but dignity." He tapped the console, displaying a network map of human vessels scattered across star systems. Each ship was a node in an organic network, communicating and adapting with near instantaneous precision. "Our technology is a reflection of our journey," Reza said. "We build on the ashes of past mistakes, integrating life and machine, creating a fleet that grows, stronger with every challenge." Back on Zephyr Station, a junior analyst's discovery set off alarms. Hidden in the scout's data was a series of encrypted coordinates, a star system previously unknown to Imperial charts, far beyond their mapped borders. This system, the analyst whispered, could be their rally point, the heart of their fleet's power. Commander Veshnar stared at the coordinates. If that's true, we're facing an enemy with reach and resources beyond anything we imagined. Ilara joined him, her expression grim but resolute. This is more than a threat. It's a lesson. Humanity's greatest weapon is their refusal to die quietly. As the Imperial fleet scrambled to prepare, the human network pulsed with life. Ships adjusted their formations dynamically, shields shimmering with energy that seemed to flow like blood through veins. The Council's debate shifted. The image of humanity as simple primitives had been shattered. Now they were seen as pioneers of survival, masters of change. Perhaps, Ilara said quietly, this is a chance. Not just for conflict, but for evolution. The galaxy has room for those who learn to adapt. The message was clear. The real fleet was no longer just coming. It was already here, woven into the fabric of space and time. The Empire's hold on the stars was about to be tested like never before. In the vaulted halls of the Imperial High Command, tension rippled through every meeting. Fleet commanders pored over star charts and sensor data, trying to anticipate humanity's next move. The unsettling reality was clear. The Empire faced a foe unlike any before, a fleet alive in both technology and purpose. General Kael Var slammed a datapad onto the table. They move like shadows, striking where we least expect. Their ships adapt mid-combat. Shield frequencies shift. Engines alter course instantly. Our traditional tactics won't hold. Lieutenant Rian Malkov, fresh from Zypher Station, nodded. Their stealth tech isn't just camouflage. It's active, predictive. It anticipates our scans, learning our sensor patterns. A younger officer interjected. And their neural communication network allows them to coordinate faster than our command structure can react. Commander Veshnar tapped his fingers thoughtfully. We've relied too long on overwhelming firepower and rigid formations. If we want to survive, we need flexibility, unpredictability, things we've never prioritized. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Far from Imperial deliberations aboard the scout vessel, Admiral Reza Imani reviewed incoming intelligence from the fleet's outer wings. Reports came in of Imperial patrols scrambling, defenses realigning. Humanity's plan was working. Let them prepare, Reza said. The Empire still clings to its outdated doctrines. They underestimate what it means to survive through change. In the heart of the fleet, engineers worked tirelessly, melding organic technology with artificial intelligence. Ships pulsed with life, their hulls adjusting at a molecular level, repairing damage almost as quickly as it occurred. One scientist, Dr. Lena Sovak, explained to a group of officers, our systems learn from every encounter. We don't just react, we evolve. Each battle strengthens the fleet. Back in the Imperial War Room, Ilara Voss presented a radical proposal. We cannot win this by force alone. We must seek understanding, offer terms that respect humanity's history and strength. Otherwise, we risk annihilation. General Var scowled. Negotiation is a luxury when the enemy's fleet is at our doorstep. Eris Von, the first chancellor, sighed heavily. Both approaches carry risk. We prepare defenses, but also dispatch envoys. Perhaps we can find a path through this darkness. The envoy ship Pax Aurora was hastily retrofitted for stealth and speed. Its mission, to reach the human fleet's rally point, hidden beyond known space and open dialogue before war consumed them all. Lieutenant Rian Malkov was chosen to lead the envoy, a task both dangerous and unprecedented. As he prepared for departure, Commander Veshnar offered a solemn nod. Remember, Rian, this isn't just a mission, it's the future of the Empire. Ryan's thoughts drifted to the scout's message. We come not as conquerors, but as survivors seeking recognition. Could diplomacy bridge centuries of silence and fear? As the Pax Aurora slipped through the nebula's swirling veil, the human fleet awaited beyond. Ships hummed with latent power, ready to show the galaxy that survival was more than victory. It was a revolution. In the shadowy corridors of power, the Empire's fate balanced on a knife's edge. Would they cling to the old ways or embrace The uncertain promise of change? The real fleet was here, and with it a new chapter in galactic history was about to begin. The Pax Aurora slipped silently through the dense clouds of the Valtrex Nebula, its engines barely a whisper against the void. Lieutenant Rian Malkov stood on the bridge, eyes fixed on the starfield ahead. The coordinates from the Scout's transmission guided them into the unknown, a place the Empire's maps barely touched. Approaching rally point, the navigator announced. The sensors lit up with shapes emerging from the nebula's mist, ships of organic design, their hulls shimmering with living light. The human fleet was vast, far larger than any report had suggested. Rian felt a mixture of awe and unease. This was not just an armada, it was a living network, breathing and adapting in real time. The comm panel buzzed. "Lieutenant, we're receiving a transmission," said the communications officer. The voice was calm, clear, unmistakably human. "Welcome, Empire Envoy. We've awaited your arrival." Ryan straightened. "This is Lieutenant Malkov of the Galactic Empire. We come seeking dialogue to understand your intentions." A holographic figure materialized, a woman with keen eyes and an aura of quiet strength. "I am Admiral Reza Imani. We do not wish to destroy the Empire. We seek recognition, partnership, and a future where humanity is no longer cast aside." The two officers regarded each other across the distance of space and history. For decades, the Empire had seen humanity as a relic. Now they faced a species that had not only survived but transformed. "Why reveal yourselves now?" Ryan asked. "Why not remain hidden?" Reza's expression was solemn. "Because survival alone is not enough. We must claim our place, not through conquest, but through understanding. The galaxy changes, and so must we all." The dialogue continued, probing old wounds and new hopes. The Empire's envoys shared stories of order and peace, while the humans spoke of endurance and evolution. It was a fragile bridge, yet one built from the shared desire to avoid conflict. Yet beneath the surface, not all were convinced. Back, on the Imperial flagship Tyrannus, General Var watched the transmission feed with suspicion. "Trust is a luxury we cannot afford," he muttered. "Prepare defenses. If this is a ploy, we will be ready." On the human side, some officers whispered doubts as well. Can they truly accept us? Or will history repeat itself? Admiral Reza turned to his crew. "We move forward with hope, but we prepare for war if necessary. Survival has taught us to expect both." Meanwhile, the Pax Aurora began scanning the fleet's technology in more detail. The results astonished Imperial scientists. Ships that repaired themselves instantly, engines powered by hybrid biomechanical cores, AI that adapted and grew smarter with every data exchange. Lieutenant Malkov realized the enormity of what they faced. This was not a simple military confrontation. It was a clash of philosophies, rigid control versus dynamic evolution. As the fleet's representatives prepared for a formal meeting, the galaxy seemed to hold its breath. This moment could mark the dawn of peace or the spark of war. The final transmission before the rendezvous was clear. The Empire has a choice: embrace change or be swept aside. And with that, the stage was set for a future neither side could predict. The great chamber aboard the human flagship Phoenix Ascendant was filled with a mixture of anticipation and guarded hope. Delegates from both the Galactic Empire and the human fleet gathered, their eyes reflecting centuries of tension and the weight of the moment. Lieutenant Ryan Malkov stepped forward first, his voice steady. "We come from an empire forged in order and tradition. For too long, humanity was dismissed, forgotten in the shadows of history. Today, we seek to change that." Across the room, Admiral Reza Imani nodded. "And we come from a people forged in chaos and resilience. We survived by adapting, learning, and refusing to give up. We offer partnership, not subjugation." The talks began with cautious words, probing boundaries and intentions. The Empire's leaders expressed concern about security and stability. while the humans spoke of shared prosperity and mutual respect. Outside, both fleets held position, silent witnesses to a fragile peace. The nebula around them seemed to pulse, gently as if the stars themselves waited to see what would come next. Suddenly, the communication channels crackled. A rogue Imperial faction, unwilling to accept this new order, launched a surprise attack on a human outpost. The sudden violence shocked both sides. General Kale Var's voice boomed over the Imperial command network. "This is a betrayal. The Empire's unity is at risk." Admiral Reza's response was swift but measured. "We will not be drawn into needless war. We seek peace, but will defend ourselves." Lieutenant Malkoff quickly relayed the news to the delegates. "This rogue attack threatens everything we've worked for. We must stand united." In the ensuing days, joint efforts between the Empire and human fleet tracked down the rogue faction, quelling the violence before it escalated. The incident tested the fragile trust but ultimately strengthened it. The negotiations resumed with renewed urgency. Both sides realized that survival depended not just on weapons but on cooperation. Alara Voss addressed the assembly, her voice clear and hopeful. "This moment is more than a treaty. It is a promise to learn from each other, to grow together, and to forge a galaxy where all can thrive." Admiral Reza added, "We are not enemies but neighbors. Our pasts differ, but our future is shared." As the treaty was signed, the fleet slowly retracted from their standoff positions. The Empire opened its star charts, welcoming human exploration and innovation within its borders. Months later, a new alliance was born, the Galactic Concordance, a coalition embracing diversity, adaptation, and unity. In the years that followed, the Empire transformed. Human technology and philosophy infused new life into Imperial doctrine. Ships that healed themselves, fleets that learned in real time, and a governance more flexible and inclusive reshaped the galaxy. Lieutenant Rian Malkoff, now a liaison between the two cultures, reflected on the journey. "It began with a scout, a warning, and a question, not of conquest but of existence. And in that question we found hope." Admiral Reza looked toward the stars from the Phoenix Ascendant. The real fleet was not just steel and firepower. It was humanity itself, resilient, evolving, and ready to shape a new dawn. The galaxy, vast and full of mysteries, awaited. And for the first time in centuries, the Empire and humanity faced it together,